Are you ready to become an expat and leave your home country? Well, before you do so, make sure you can handle these non-negotiables that is always going to exist in an expat slash nomad life. Hey, Jason here. If you're new to the channel, I've been an expat slash nomad for 10 years now. I'm on my fourth country, third continent, here in the southern region of Africa in Lusaka, Zambia. And one of the things I started sharing with you, is sharing with you what I've learned along this 10-year journey in the perspective of health, happiness, health, and wealth. And most importantly, if you're thinking about becoming an expat or already one, why you should be looking at Lusaka, Zambia, because there's a lot of opportunities here, but no one's here talking about it. So that's what I'm doing. So let's go ahead and dig into this video. And the topic is some non-negotiables as expats. I actually got this idea. A video just popped up for me, and it was a young lady who, I think she's an expat also, but she was talking about how people are saying all of these visa-free countries that Black Americans can go to. And a lot of this stuff is lies. So I was like, let me just explain some things. And mind you, this is my fourth country. I've had three temporary residences, and this is my first permanent residence here in Lusaka, Zambia. So I think I'm a little bit knowledgeable on this situation, just from the few countries that I've had the privilege of living in and just sharing with you what I've learned. So the first thing that's a non-negotiable, you need to understand the path to permanent residency. And this is something you have to do your due diligence on. Every country do not offer permanent residency. Permanent residency is not citizenship. Those are not the same thing. Some countries' permanent residency piggybacks off of citizenship and give you the rights of a citizen, but some countries do not give you the rights of a citizen, and you will never have those rights. So you do need to understand that. Things that can affect permanent residency is it may be a minimum amount of money that must be invested. If I remember correctly, I think countries like Colombia, if you were to purchase real estate or something like that for about 150,000 USD or more, it can come with permanent residency. I don't know if that law is still the same, but that's when I was actually living there. And other countries like Colombia, Costa Rica, all that, they have those options also. Some countries may just say, hey, if you want to get permanent residency here, this is how much it costs. That is how some countries work. Some of them, you may have to spend a minimum amount of time in the country. So like between Panama and Colombia, if I would have wanted to get permanent residency for both of those, I would have had to been in the country consecutively for 5 years. Doesn't mean you can't travel. It just means in 5 years, you cannot let your temporary residency lapse. Because what they usually do, they may give it to you up to 3 years. Now, it is up to the hosting country immigration, how much time they give you for permanent residency. So for temporary residency, I've heard a buddy of mine who was in Colombia, he just left and went to Brazil. He was telling me how after he renewed the last time, they only gave him 1 year. And so he was saying, paying the $300 to $500 US every year now, it wasn't worth it as if it was when he got it the first time and was given 3 years. And so that is something you have to look into when it comes to permanent residency. Now, Zambia, and on the other hand, if you are a retiree, if you have a pension or you're a retired government or military employee, you can get permanent residency here. They have just now initiated a minimum age requirement. However, if you are underneath that age, but you meet every other requirement, there may be another way to get in or to get a waiver for it. And that is a case-by-case scenario. And we're going to talk, that moves right into the number 2 non-negotiable. Visas and permits are not free. Nothing is free in this world. If you want to get into a country as a legal alien, you will have to pay money. This is one of the things I think most people are not understanding. Legal immigration costs money. It wasn't my American passport that got me residency in all these different countries. I paid the money I had to pay. I used a lawyer when I had to use a lawyer. And I made sure everything that was needed to meet requirements, I met them. That is how this works. Um, I don't I don't think for Americans immigration is something that's instilled in us enough because we're so used to immigrants coming to the U.S. and we're not seeing the other way of Americans immigrating to other countries. And so you need to understand visas and permits have a cost. If you're having to use a lawyer, that have a cost. Nothing is free. There isn't no hookup. There isn't no, oh, brother, I'm back on the motherland. Hook me up. No, people have to work. This is business. Immigration is a business. And so just understand that everything has a cost. Um, like for here, I'm going to just give you my cost. When I was in Panama for a 3-year visa, I paid, I think that was about $350 a person. For Colombia, I think I paid $450 for combined for a 3-year visa. And then for also here in SA, I didn't have to pay. I did the 1 year, but I had to do a little border hopping, which Africa, the continent of Africa, is not border hopper friendly. It's just not their culture. And then here for Zambia, oh, let me go to Botswana. I did pay for a residency in Botswana. I have to go back there one day and check on it because I don't think they ever got a hold to it. I think the paperwork was lost. That one cost me, I think, about $200 US. And I was trying to see if I could get 10 years. I didn't know if they were going to let me or not. But I am going to end up going back there to redo it. And I'm probably going to use a lawyer this time to have someone walk everything through so I don't have to worry about paperwork being lost or misplaced. And then here for Zambia, I paid about $620 US at the time. What the conversion was at. The conversion is a lot different now. The dollar is not as strong right now. But that was $620 and that gave me permanent residency under the retiree permit. So for here, with me being a permanent residency, is one of those countries where it almost piggybacks off of citizenship, meaning you have just about every right as a citizen. I can get an NRC, which is the national registration card. I can open a bank account. I can open up businesses through PACRA, registered businesses. I'm just not allowed to work. And also I have the ability to purchase land, whether it's a title deed or traditional land. And so those are the things that for me, permanent residency give me here in Zambia. And that's how I can do things legally here without stress. And just remember this, I'm going to always talk about legal ways. And number two is, well, both of these are really great, but number two is really important. You need to pay the money that the permits cost. Don't try to get hookups. Don't try to use some ancestry DNA. Like, pay the money, come into the country legally. And if you have to leave, just leave. Like, don't put yourself in a situation where you get banned or blacklisted from countries because you're overstaying your visas and permits. And they have the right to do that because at the end of the day, immigration is about bringing better people into your country to help boost your country. It's not about bringing your country down. This is why legal immigration is very important. And we got to talk more about this. We can't be focused so much on illegal immigration. We need to be focused on legal immigration too. Me as a legal immigrant who have done it in several countries across the world now, I am a big fighter or an advocate for legal immigration because there's a lot of things that the country may benefit you. And by you benefiting from it, there's a lot of things the country are going to benefit too. And so if you have any questions or comments concerning residency here in Zambia, just shoot me a comment down below. I'll get back to you. I will answer to the best of my knowledge. If I don't know, I'm going to let you know I don't know and just see if I can find out that information for you. But before I go, just remember this. I'm Jason, and success is simple once you know how.